Union Pacific number 4014 is the world's largest operating steam locomotive. Originally in service from 1941 to 1961 and restored to service in 2019, it now tours UP's rail network. But how many of us have ever seen an operating steam locomotive along an Ozark main line? Today we have a rare chance to see a piece of American railroad history passing through these hills. Here it's arriving in Soto, Missouri, a railroad town since the first depot was built in 1858, which still hosts a major Union Pacific car shop. DeSoto has a population of about 6,500, and I'd swear every single one of them was here along Main Street to greet this piece of American history. This class of locomotive never operated along this line during its working life, so seeing one locally is a real treat. With the exception of a few small tourist trains, it's pretty rare to see steam locomotives operating in the Ozarks. Chasing a heritage steam locomotive in operation here is like chasing a solar eclipse. You have to know the date and time of a rare transit, plan travel accordingly, and expect to share the experience with crowds. Of the major Class 1 railroads operating in our region, BNSF crosses the Ozarks on several very scenic lines that are great for modern rail fanning. But BNSF doesn't have a heritage steam program. Kansas City Southern hugs the Ozarks western fringe, and also didn't have a heritage steam program before its recent merger with Canadian Pacific. Union Pacific's system mostly circles around the Ozarks, and it doesn't often send its Wyoming-based steamers this far east. When 4014 visited Missouri and Arkansas in 2021, it skirted around the Ozarks in both states. But 2024's route took a more direct path through the eastern Missouri Ozarks, following a line first built in the late 1850s to connect St. Louis with high-quality iron ore deposits around Arcadia and Ironton in the heart of the St. Francis Mountains. Make sure you've checked out our separate video on this area's volcanic history. So like thousands of other people, we grabbed our chance to see live steam in the Ozarks. There's just nothing like standing next to a living, breathing steam locomotive. 4014 is a particularly fascinating piece of railroad engineering, built so large that it has two separate sets of driver wheels, each mounted on a separate pivoting frame so the massive locomotive can negotiate curves. There's the first set. And the second. We followed 4014 south from DeSoto. Through Bismarck. To the railfan chaos of the Arcadia Valley, where the train made another stop at the historic depot that's still served by Amtrak today. The Highway 72 overpass here was a popular vantage point as 4014 began to work upgrade. After all these crowds, we'd hoped to hike into a more remote viewpoint within Ketcherside Mountain Conservation Area, but traffic and time constraints prevented this. So while Joanna filmed at Arcadia, I went further south, finding a nice viewpoint to catch 4014 at track speed, an experience that video just can't capture. That whistle blast about reprogrammed my heart. We've been spending a lot of time in the St. Francis Mountains over the past year as part of our Geology of the Ozarks series. But chasing 4014 was a good reminder that geology is only part of the Ozark story. The April 2024 solar eclipse also passed directly through this area, and while we enjoyed it from a remote mountainside, throngs of visitors contributed to the area's economy. So it was thrilling to once again see people gathering in this part of the Ozarks, sharing a sense of wonder at a rare experience some may never have again. If you weren't part of the throng, hopefully this video helped you experience and appreciate this little bit of newly made Ozark history. If you can, please consider supporting our work with a tip by clicking the thanks button below the video or visiting our Ko-fi page linked below. If you're new to the channel, check out our other content exploring the history and geology of the Ozarks, and consider subscribing as we keep exploring this fascinating region.